Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to continue with our Reddit clone built with MERN, that is mongodb, express.js, react and node.js. So last time we did some authentication, so I can show to how can I log in here. Yeah, it works. Hello test. And today we are going to continue, and I plan to do posts listing. So I will put this post to the database, and I will add some more posts to then fetch them with an API endpoint. Alright, and as always, please leave some likes so I know I should continue with these projects. Alright, so let's start by going to our client app, which is our React app, and let's go to app.js. And as you can see, we have this post pasted in here as just as a raw text, and I think we should instead put it in our Mongo database. So let me open terminal here, and let's open Mongo. Alright, and in here let's use Reddit database. Alright, and now we need to, let's see, collections. We have only users. All right, let's do db create collection, and let's call it comments. Yes, and I'm calling this comments because the structure of this data will be almost the same as the comments on the actual comments under posts. When you open like one post, you will have also comments, but the data will look almost exactly the same, so I will just put it in the same collection. All right, now let's try to put this post here inside our comments collection. So let's try to do db comments insert. All right, and in here we will have author, and it will be our username here. So test 1 2 3. Then we will have also title. It's called title. All right, and now we will have body or content. I don't know, how should I call it? Is it body or content? Let's call it content, or maybe body. All right, so the body will be this. So let's try to select it and paste it here. I don't think it worked as expected. No, it did not work. Let's try again. Okay, let's see. We can put part of it like this, or maybe I can create buffer here, scratch, so I can put all of this and make it as a one line. No, I want to copy this thing and just paste it like this. Copy, paste. Yes. And I think I need to create it from scratch. So let's do db comments insert author was test 1 2 3, and then we need also title, and title will be this. Yes, and we need also content, but we need also date. All right, let's do posted at new date, and then also this body. All right, body, still the same problem. or maybe not. Let's try to run it. Okay, it worked now. All right, that's good. Now let's try to see if we have it in the database. So db comments find pretty. Okay, so we have this huge command here, and it works. Yeah. So now I'll create another one. I will just take the latest one. So again, db comments insert, and in here let's do author. I don't know, maybe another user test2 posted at new date, and we had the title. Let's copy this title and the body from here. So body, yeah, and we can save it like this. Okay, it didn't work. Maybe it is, let's see, author test2 posted at new date title, and then we have body. Maybe we have some yeah, and there are some special characters that we need to make backslash at here and here, and I think it's, yeah, now it's okay. All right, now now we should have something to work with. I will close this and this. I can exit from the database. All right, now I want to list the posts here. So let's see, we have this post here, and I think I should put it as a separate component. Yes, right, so here where my app.js is located, I will create new component, and maybe let's call it post, new file, post.js. And as always, just a function here, post, that will return an empty div for now, and let's do export default post like this. And now let's here paste our post, so it will be all this. Yes, save. Now it's empty here, but we will put it here like this. Now let's put our post here, post. Okay, it didn't import it for me. Let's import post from post like this. Now it should work. Yes. Post is not defined. Let's just refresh and see. Yeah, it works. All right, so the next thing, we want to use the actual texts and from the database. Right, so to do this, we have this use effect that is fetching our user information, and I think we should also here fetch some information about posts. But to do this, let's first create an API endpoint for this. So in our API directory, we have server.js, our main file for our express.js application. All right, and in here, let's see, we have app get user, app post login. Let's add app get posts. Okay, and in here We'll have, as always, request and response. All right, and then here, what do we want to return? We want to get all posts and just put it in here. So to do this, we need to create a new model. We had a user here, and now we need also to have a comment. So I will copy this, and alongside the user file, I'll create the comment.js. I will paste this user model for now, and I will just replace this with comment, and here comment, and also here I need to replace with comment. All right, now when it comes to schema, I need to change some stuff. So we will have title, we will have body, and what else? We'll have author. I just copy this information. Yeah, it's also string and it's required. Title will not be required actually, so we can remove this part, because later there can be comments without titles, just plain comments. All right, and now we also need date. So posted at, and type is date. Yes, and it's also required, and yeah, like this. And I think that's all. Now let's try to import it here. So import comment from comment.js, like this. Now let's go back to our posts. Maybe we can rename this to comments, so it will be more general endpoint. All right, and here let's see. So to get comments, we need to do just comment find, and I think that's all. We can just run then, and then we can use our response JSON to just it will not be user, it will be comments, to just send it back to our client, so React app. All right, so now I saved it, and now let's try to use it in our app.js. All right, so here we have our first API callback to check user information. Now let's do another one. We can get some cleaning done later. All right, so HTTP, and it will be 4000/comments, and we need, I think we should pass credentials. It doesn't hurt to send cookies. Then okay, then we will have response, and what do we want to do with the response? We have a post there, so maybe we can just save it in our state and display them. So let's do const, and let's do comments and set comments, and it will be state. Default value for this state will be an empty array. All right, so now when we have our response, let's do set comments to response data. All right, and so far so good. Now here where we have our post, we'll have several posts, so I will put them in a div, so we have some kind of wrapper. And in here, let's do comments and map. And here we'll have one comment that is actually a post. We could actually rename it to post, but it doesn't matter. So in every comment, with every comment that is actually a post, we'll just render this part like this. Now we have 3 posts. I think that I created another record by mistake when I was trying to create the first one, but all of them have the same text because we are rendering this element and we are just rendering this awful stuff here that is copy paste. So let's just put everything that we have inside our comment. So let's do destruction of the comment object like this, and now inside our post let's remove all this text and let's use some props that we pass from our app.js. So in here let's do props body, as I remember correctly. Yeah, here we have this body, here we have this body. It works. Now title, this will be easy. So props title, and here we have user. So let's do props author. It was in our database, and 5 hours ago. That will be more complicated. Let's put this date here for now. Let's do props posted at, and let's see how it looks like. Okay, I think it works. So let's refresh. Okay, yeah, here we have different title, and here we had some problem with pasting this whole long post, so that's why we have same title here and here, but it doesn't matter. Now we could make some spacing. So let's see, we can add margin bottom of, let's try 3. No, not this way. Instead, let's go back here. Okay, so every post has this dark background on the sides, and it shouldn't be this way. Let's take this dark background from here and let's put it to our parent div component that we have here. So class name will be this, and it works. Now let's add some margin bottom of 3. Okay, it works, and maybe 4 to make this and this equal. Yeah, now it's better. All right, so the next thing would be to have this pop-up. As you can see, when I click on this one, it pops up, and I want to also have this cursor pointer. All right, let's try to do this. So when I hover, the border changes and there's this cursor pointer. All right, so in here, let's do hover pointer. Will it work like this? No, it does not. Maybe cursor. No, like this. Okay, maybe that is, let's try tailwind cursor pointer. Cursor dash pointer. All right. Cursor dash pointer like this. Okay, now I have this hand cursor. All right, so the next thing is when we hover, we want a different border. So we have this as a default, but if we hover, we want to have border. Let's do white. Yeah, it's not ideal, but it's better. It's much better, and it works. Well, it works for now, but maybe let's change it to the text color. So hover, we have this Reddit. Let's try with Reddit text. All right, and Reddit text. Now we have Reddit dark, Reddit text, like this. Oh no, not the background. We need border. Do I have this? Yes, now it's better. I think this white is now much darker. All right, so now let's see. When I click it, I want this pop-up to open. All right, so let's see. When I click on this, I want this to open. So we need to first create this pop-up. So let's go to our app. And we need also to add the React router, so we will have some routing, so different URLs here for each post. All right, let's open our terminal. Let's go to client directory and let's yarn add the React router DOM. Okay, so this is installing, and meanwhile we can import it, or import from React router DOM, and we will need a switch. We will need route, and I think we will also need the browser router. Yeah, browser router, and let's do as a router, so it will be simpler. All right, so now let's use it. So in here, I'm here, let's do router, and the inside router will have a switch with uppercase S, like this. And now let's see, here we'll have some routing, so route, and we need to be it exact. All right, so we'll have two routes for now. The first will be a listing of all posts, and another route will be for a specific post. So let's do route. It should be uppercase R, and the path will be just a slash, and the component, I don't know what the component will be for now, because I need to put this listing on a separate component. So here we have listing of our posts, so I will just cut it from here, and I will create a new component. And how we can call it, let's do a posts listing.js, posts listing.js. Now let's do function post listing, and it will return this, and it has imported post for me. That's cool. Now let's do export default post listing, and the comments is undefined here, so we need to take it from props. We need to pass it along using props. So let's do props comments. All right, and in our app.js, in the default route, we need to put component to be our post listing, like this. And it is undefined for now, but we will fix it. Import post listening from post listening, like this. Now if I refresh, it almost works, and the only problem is that it tries to use comments that we don't pass yet, and I think that we will put those this endpoint here inside the post listing for now. So I will cut this out, and I will go back to post listing, and I will also use here import use state from react, and in here let's do, and I will also use effect, and let's do use effect, and here we'll have empty array because we want to render it every time when we mount our post listening input. And I will put this Axios endpoint that will set comments, but we need also to have this state part that will set comments and then list them. So I will go back to our app.js, and I will, as you can see, this comments is not used, so I will just cut it out, and I will put it here. Okay, and I think it starts to work. I don't need props anymore. Okay, it kinda works. Let's go back to our app.js and see. Okay, so we have this posts listening, but wait, this is under our posts. It's because board header and post form, this is post form, is under the switch. So to render our home page, I don't think we should use posts listening component, but we should have like homepage component or something like this, board component. So I will create another component. Let's call it board, and the board for this one will be web dev, but we will fix it later. All right, so board.js, let's create this file, and let's create function board, and it will return nothing for now, and maybe an empty div. And here we'll just do export default board, yeah, like this. Now inside our div we need to put our everything that is related to this page. So let's go to our app, and so we will put board header and post form and stuff that we have here. So I cut it from here, and let's go to board, and I pasted it here. Now let's go back to our app.js. Right, so we also need posts listing on our board, so let's add it, posts listing, and And is there something else? No. And now let's use this board component like this, and it has been imported for me. So now as you can see, when I refresh, I have everything I need, and everything is actually inside board component. So the whole home page except this header is inside board component. So we have this board header, and it's this part. Then we have post form, that is this part, and then we have posts listing, that is all posts listed. So yeah, now we can do some small fixes here, because I see we have white background here. So let's go to posts listing, and yeah, for a specific post, let's do instead of margin background, margin bottom, let's do padding bottom. Oops, padding bottom of 4. Yeah, and it works better. All right, so now we are listing posts, and now we need this post model, post pop-up, that when we click on this one, it pops up. All right, so we need to create a new route. So let's go to our app.js, and we'll create a new route, and the path will be I think it will be comment and slash and then the ID. Let's see what the Reddit is using. So when I open one, they are using comments and then the ID. All right, so let's do the same. And they have also board name before, but we will fix it later. So I will show you here. So as you can see, they have a board name here, then comments, and then ID of the comment. But we will fix the different boards later. So let's focus on comments for now. And then we need a component for one specific single post. So let's create a new component, and let's call it post page. Yeah, post page will be nice. So new file, post page, maybe not post page, comment page, comment page.js. All right, function comment page, not parser, page, and it will return an empty div for now. And now let's do export, as always default, comment page. All right, and back to our app.js. Now we can use this component here, component, inside our route. So let's see, we have this component that we created, and it's comment page. It has not been imported, so we need to import it manually. Let's do import comment page like this. Now let's just refresh here. Okay, so it works, but when we are clicking, nothing happens for now. And we want to open this specific URL. So we go to board, and then to our post listening, and then to a specific post. We have this hover, that we have different border. When we hover, we need to change it to a link. So let's import it. Import link from react router DOM, and then let's use it here, link. So I changed this part and this part and this. So now it's a link, but it's kind of broken. Let's see, maybe we need to make it block. Yeah, now it's good. Alright, so when I click it, I need to specify URL. So let's do link to. And now we want to go to /comments /ID of the ID of the post or comment. So let's do props and let's try with _ID. Okay, now we'll try to click it and it worked. Yeah, it kind of worked. So now let's go back to our app, but let's see, we have this comments URL, but we are still showing several posts, and it's because we are doing this path / but we forgot to add exact. So yeah, now posts listing or board is not shown because the URL needs to be exact /. So now let's also maybe add it here, and now let's check if comment page is displayed. The comment page here, yeah, it is displayed. All right, so we will have some props here that we'll need to use because we'll have this ID inside our props. All right, so we have this comment page, but we want to display a post. All right, so to do this, let's first console log what we have inside props. I think there's something called props match. Let's see, props match params, and then we have the ID. Okay, so let's do const post ID equals props and then we have match, and then we have params, and then we have ID. Okay, so let's try to put it here, post ID. Okay, so this is idea of the comment we want to show. So on this page we want to show just this one post with maybe comments. All right, so we need also to use state and effect here. So let's do import and use state, use effect from React. All right, so in here we need to fetch just this one post or this one comment, and maybe we should call it comment ID, and also here comment ID. All right, and we need to fetch one specific comment. So let's create an API import for this. So in our server.js, that is our Express app, let's add app-get /comments, and yeah, colon ID will be nice, and then we have this request and response. Right, so when in here we will just do a comment, find by ID, and let's say that inside our request body we will have an ID, and then when we get this comment we will just do response JSON with it. So actually we could just do response JSON, short and sweet. Now let's try to use it and see if it works. So on our comment page, let's use effect, and then here we'll run it every time. And let's use Axios. Oh, we need to import it. Import Axios from Axios, like this. And Axios get and HTTP localhost 4000, if I remember correctly, /comments/ and the ID of the comment. So I will just put it here above. So plus comment ID, yes. And then what do we do then? Then we will have response with some data, but to save it we'll need to use our state. So let's do const, and let's set comment and set comment equals use state, and the default will be an empty object. Right, so here we will save our comment information from the Api Endpoint. So when we get response, let's do just set comment, and here response data. Right, and when we get the post information, let's do empty div, and here if we have a comment, then we want to display it as a post. So a post like this, and we'll just distract this comment and put everything as props. Okay, kinda works. Let's see what went wrong. So we are putting here, let's maybe try to refresh. No, it didn't help. So I have this post with comment. Let's see what do we have inside. Let's do console log comment. Okay, it's empty. Let's see inside network. So when we are fetching it, let's reload, and only my endpoints. Okay, so as you can probably see, it's still pending, so something went wrong. Yeah, and I think I know what went wrong. It's not finding an ID, I don't know, let's see. Let's go back to server.js, and let's do response JSON of our request params. I see what is wrong. This ID is not inside body. We are not sending forms, we are sending params. Alright, so now if I refresh, it's still pending. Okay, it wasn't it. Let's try with response JSON, and let's see what do we have inside request. Okay, we are getting 500. Let's see why. Okay, we can't return a response. Let's do request params to see if we have params here. Let's refresh. Yes, we have ID. All right, so this should work, but let's see why it's not. So we're getting a comment, and then let's do just response send status 200, and that's all. Let's refresh and see what we got. No, let's comment this one out and let's refresh again. So it works. And let's try to response JSON with comment. Refresh. Okay, and we have this information and it started work. So we can't actually do just response JSON here inside. I don't know why, but it just doesn't work. I can remove this part and this part and it should still work. Yeah, so now the only problem is that on our comment page that we don't have this dark background and there's no padding here. So let's fix it. So here we have our parent div, so let's add some class names. So we want some dark background, so let's do background Reddit, and we have Reddit dark. Maybe this will work. Yeah, almost. Let's see if we go back, or I want also to have, when I click the logo, I want to go to the home page. So here we have header, here we have logo, and here we have the image. So let's do a link of it. I need to import a link from react router DOM, and I need to put this image inside the link to just homepage, and I will put this image inside like this. Let's see what went wrong. Okay, using link outside of router. Okay, if I go back to our app.js, this is because our header is used outside of the router. So I think I can just put it here and it should work. Yes, and it does. So when I click on it, I'm on the home page. Yoo-hoo. Alright, so I click here, I see a post. I click here, okay. And let's try this big one. Yeah, it works. Let's just add some spacing. So if I go back to comments page, let's add the padding y of 4 and the padding x of maybe also 4. No, padding x is not needed. Yeah, this one's here we will have some comments, but this will be fixed later. Alright, so this works. Yeah, now we have this little problem that when you open one, this thing shouldn't be clickable, or we shouldn't have this hover effects and cursor pointer. So let's fix it. So here we have comment page. Why is it red? Well, I don't know, but let's add here some property. Let's call it open. That will be true, and inside our post we will have all those classes, but let's see, we have this on hover. I will remove this, and instead here I will do props open, and if it's open then nothing, and if it's not open then I will add this. Alright, so maybe I need to put it in parentheses like this. Yes, now it's better. Now I don't want this pointer cursor if it's open, so I'll also add if it's not open, then this. I try to refresh. I still have this. Okay, this is because it's a link. Okay, let's define the parent of the component. So how to do this? Okay, let's do it this way. Let's define the classes like this. We will just take everything from here. Oh, I forgot about this. Let's call it maybe post classes, and here we'll just put it like this. And okay, now we want to get everything from here, cut, and let's add another function called maybe post content, not content, not like this. We need to return it. Okay, we need a parent for this, so let's do an empty div like this. So now let's put it here, post content like this. And now we can check if it's open. So if as you can see, we have props here. So if props open, then we want it different way, and but if props open not, then we want it this way with links and everything. But if it's not, let's just do div, and he will put all those classes. So post classes, and here also we need this, post content like this. Now this shouldn't be clickable. Yes, it works as it should. Right, so let me get back up here. So on the comment page, we are passing open true property, and inside our post we are using this property both in the post classes, as you can see here. If it's open, if it's not open, we are adding hover and cursor pointer, and depending if it's open or not. If it's open, then then it's just a regular div. If it's not open, it's a link. All right, so now let's see. Now one big problem is that, as you can see, when I click one here, it just opens as a like separate page, but Reddit is opening them as a pop-up, but the problem is that we want to have also different roles, so it's a little complicated, but we can fix it. So now when I click one of those, I don't want to go to a different page, but instead I just want to pop it up like Reddit does. All right, so let's see. Let's go back to our app.js where we have our routing, And in here we actually need to use something called location in React Router. So let's add here, use location. All right, and in here let's do const. Yeah, let's just do location equals use location. And now let's also console log it location. Okay, now what is the problem? Cannot read location of undefined. Cannot read proper. Let's see if I refresh. No, still the same problem. Have I misspelled something? No, I did not. Will it help if I just do that like this? No. Okay, I think that the problem is that I need to use it inside routing. Let's see. Inside my router, I want to console log use location just to see what do we have inside. Cannot read property location of undefined. Okay, where we are trying to read the location. Alright, let's see. Inside our router we should be able to use location. What do we have here? Cannot read property location of undefined. Okay, and if I remove it, let's do maybe I try to pass this location here, and let's try to whoops, it didn't work. All right, so let's see. Now let's remove this because it fucks up our location. And let's try again. So here we have our app. Here we have our router. Here we have our switch. Let's try here console log use location. Still the same problem. Can we use location in a specific component? Let's try with board. And let's console log use location. And let's try to import it. Use location from React Router DOM. Okay, it works in a route. So we have an object here. Yeah, like this. So, but can we put it outside of the board? Let's see, we have board here. How we are, maybe something wrong with use location. React Router DOM. If we put it here, then it will not work, but let's see. Well, maybe I have misspelled something. I will add it here. No, it doesn't work. Okay, it tries to do use context location. Let me Google this. Maybe we have an old version of React router. Let's see. So inside our, I will just comment this for now. So inside our client, let's check package JSON. Now it looks okay. All right, so but let's go back to our app and let's put routing in a separate component. Okay, so alongside our app, let's create a new file called routing.js, and let's do function routing, and let's do export default routing, and here inside we'll just put this everything router, yes, all these. So return this. And why is this? Default export is not declared in imported module. Comment page, is it something wrong here? No, it looks fine. All right, so now we need to use it inside our app.js. So let's just call this routing. Okay, so it works. Now we had this location thingy working inside our board. So let's try to put it inside routing. And let's see if it works. No, it does not. Okay, so we can use location in a specific component, but we cannot use it outside of routes. So to fix it, I think we will just I think that we need to inside our router we'll have some routes. Okay, let's go deeper. Okay, maybe if I put this as a separate component too, it will work. I will cut this away and I will create a new file, routing switch.js. I knew I had this working somewhere else, so I will fix it. Now a function routing switch, and here let's just return this thing and export default routing switch, but we need also this use location thing, and we don't need those and those. So let's go to routing switch, and it can be like this. Okay, so let's try to refresh. Yeah, I forgot to add it here, so let's do routing switch. Okay, I think it worked. Let's see, let's go to routing switch. Okay, so we are doing this. Let's make it let location equals this, and then let's just console log location. Now we have this working. All right, so we need to pass it to our switch. So location will be location, easy. So we have everything working, but when we click on a link that is a post, we want to do something else. So let's go to post.js, and here where it's a link, so with this border stuff, we actually need to add some more information. So I'll do this an object, and I think the first is a path name. Let's try to save it and see if it works. Yes, it still works. And if I refresh, yes, it works. But now we can also add state, and inside our state we can put some extra information. So let's put the comment ID. So I will do comment ID, and it will be props underscore ID. Yes, like this. And now if I go back to routing switch and I open console here, yes, console, and if I refresh, here we have this routing, but if I click one, we have this new routing, and we have comment ID here. So now the trick is that we can pretend we are still on the home page, so we can change this location to the home page. So we can do a location path name just slash if we have a comment ID inside state. So let's do something like this. If inside our location, if we have location state and location state comment ID, so we have those two, then we want to change the location path name to a home page for now, but we want also to change the post ID that we want to display as a pop-up here. So now, as you can see, I just saved it. We have this comments URL, so we should have one comment opened, but instead we have all comments, and that's because we are setting the state stuff, and if there's state information, then we are doing just homepage, show homepage anyway. But let's do let and let's call it maybe comment pop-up ID, and it will be null. But if we get here, we will do comment pop-up ID of, let's do, we have it inside here, location state comment ID. Okay, and here inside our switch, if we have this comment ID that is not null, we can do let's rename this to something shorter, just comment ID. So if we have comment ID, then let's do div we have comment ID, and let's do just comment ID. Okay, so now I'm showing only this. But I want also to show another stuff. Maybe if I do like this, and I put everything inside a separate div, like this, outside. Okay, so now if I'm on the home page, it looks like it should. If I click on the one, you see we get this comments URL. So I click on it, but we are not going to a specific comment page. Instead, we have this. We have comment ID. But if I open this in a new tab, then we have this comment page. So same here. If I click on it, then we have comment ID, and we can show pop-up here, and that I will fix later. But if I open on the new page, it will open as a new page. Alright, so now when we have this comment ID, they're just not displayed like this, but let's create a component that will be a pop-up. I think we have already a pop-up for login, so I will make it similar to this one. So new file, let's call it post pop-up. Let's see, how do we call this? Auth model. Okay, let's call it model. So new file, post model.js, and here quickly post model is a function export default post model, and let's say it will just return an empty div for now, and we need to use it in routing switch here. So where here post model like this, and it hasn't been imported, so let's do import post model like this. Let's pass the ID, comment ID, and let's go to post model, and we get some props. Okay, and we can actually now go to login or auth model, and just copy those those classes we have here. I can just copy it from here, so like this, and okay, this is if it's visible or not. I do const visible class equals block, and I also need a second part that is like inside, so let's do like this, and closing div. So if I click on one, yeah, we have this dark, and here we have our post that will be displayed. But I want also I want to put some information here, so let's do let's make it wider, not this small. So let's make width 3/4. But if it's small, then we also want to 3/4. If it's medium, we want 1/2. We want to have it like half. Okay, now it's bigger, it's better. Maybe let's make it a little darker, 0.8. No, it was good enough. So now we need to put some information here. Let's do just ID and props ID. Okay, so we have this ID here, and we have this post page, or even post. We have comment page, yeah. And on the comment page we are displaying post. Wait, comment page. Okay, if we have comment, then we are displaying it as a post. Okay, I will take it from here, and I will go to here, and I will put it like this. We don't have any information yet. Okay, so let's see. Here inside our post, we don't want to have this border. Alright, maybe we can just do post model, and we can remove all of this, or maybe just a part of it. No padding, no border. Let's see. Yeah, a little better. We have some, we still have some margin. I will put it back like as it was. Let's see how Reddit is doing it. Okay, so they have also some kind of dark background. Let's see other posts with some comments. Yeah, maybe here. I don't know why do they have this dark background here, but do we want to have it? I don't know. I will go to post, and I will put post content as a separate component, so we can just put just the content. So I will create new, I will copy this part, and I will create new file, post content.js, like this, and now export default post content. Alright, and here we'll have some props. And back to post, we don't need this post content function anymore, and we just need to import it. Import post content from post, not like this, like this, post content with big capital post, yeah, like this. And now to use it, we need to pass all the props down the way. So let's just do, oops, props. Okay, there's something wrong. Post content, let's refresh. Post content is not exported from post content. Export default post content. It is exported. Let's see. Okay, it should be like this. Okay, so now it works. So
Now we have it like this, but let's go to our post model, and instead of using post, let's do post content. And here let's import post content from post content. Okay, now it's a little better. Now we can add some padding of maybe 2, maybe more, like 4. Okay, and now we need to pass information about the post. So we need to fetch this information too. We already do this inside post. No, it's not inside post, it's inside the comment page. Yeah, so here on the comment page, let's copy this part and post model, let's put it like this, and let's see, comment ID is not defined. Comment ID, I should rename everything to comment model, and now there can be some misunderstanding. Okay, but we don't have comment ID, but instead we have props ID, I guess. Comment ID is not defined. Where is it? And I think it's comment ID in post model. Do I need just to refresh? Yes. Okay, so now when we have this post, let's do comment. Yeah, it works, but I want to rename everything. I want to rename it to comment model. Let's do refactoring. Okay, I have renamed this to model, and I should probably, now I want this to be named post content. All right, and now whoops, not this. And now we have this pop-up here as they have, but we want maybe to make it darker, and when I click out, I want to click outside of it. So and I would like to know if the scrolling works, so I will add some lorem ipsum text, and let's just put it like 10 times, and scrolling doesn't work, so let's fix it. So now we have this. Let's see how it looks like in the DOM. Okay, so we can't scroll it here, but here let's maybe do bottom 0 and overflow scroll. Yeah, now we can scroll. Let's add maybe some spacing.
and padding. Here I will do margin y of 4, and let's see it. Okay, it helped from the bottom. As you can see, we have some space here, but not from the top. Let's see why. I will add some numbers here to know where we are at. Maybe 5 here, and see. We have 5 here, 4 here. So there's a lot to scroll back up. Alright, so do we have some weird classes here? Left 0. What if I remove this and I put it here? Then it doesn't work. So I think I need to have it here. Yeah, but now margin from the top and the bottom is 4. What if I change the bottom 0? Now it should be like this. Have should be screen. What if I do auto? Okay, now it works. Kinda. Wait, if I do it like this. Okay, let's see. Okay, refresh. If I do absolute here, yeah. Let's see, if I scroll here, I scroll only inside the box. So we need to change it back to fixed. Alright, but overflow scroll, I will create a new div here. Or maybe not here, but here. Class name, and I will add these, and I will put all of those into my new div. Okay, let's see. And I'll make it black. And max height of, let's do max height of screen. Yes, now it works from the top. Okay, but we need to change it to, I think I would just click it. Let's do style and max height of calc 100% width height minus, and something from the top and something from the bottom. So let's maybe do 100 pixels. No, 200 pixels.
Okay, so but now it's cutting everything, even the shadow. We want this to be screen. Okay, now it's much better. So now it kind of works. So scrolling works. So I can remove those lorem ipsum stuff. Like this. So now it's like this. And I want to fix that I can click outside. Alright, so to fix it, I think there was something I was using before. And let's see if we have it in auth model. So inside our auth model, we have click out handler. So let's use it inside our comment model. So I import it here. Okay, so we need to put click out handler somewhere. So let's do this not with the whole shadow and everything, but here outside this box. So it will be here, I guess. Click out handler. On click out, we do some stuff. So let's put everything here inside. So we want to change visibility class. So let's do const and visible class, and set visible class and the default will be hidden. I think it should be hidden. Okay. And here, after we fetch the comment, we want to set visible class to block. Yes, and but when we click out, we want to do set visible class to hidden. Okay, yeah, it works. Okay, but when I click again, it doesn't work. Let's refresh. It works on load. Okay. So when I click, it works. Otherwise it doesn't. Let's go back to our switch, routing switch, and let's see, we are doing this comment model thing here. Let's maybe say that every time we have this ID, we want this to be open true. And inside our comment model, we have props, and we can check it. So if props open, then we will set visible class to block. Let's refresh. And I think it didn't work because we need to put it here inside effect. Okay, now if I click on this, nothing happened. Let's see if I remove this if and I do just like this. Okay, now it works and I can click out. But when I click another one, nothing happens. And I think that we don't want to monitor like this empty, but we want actually to remove a monitor props ID. Yes, I can click out. I can open another one. Yes, now it works. We don't need this part. Okay, I click, it works. I click out, it works. I click, it works. But wait a second. If we are closing it, we are just doing this. But as you can see, when I click it, first it loads. And when it's loading, it's showing the old post that we had open before. And I don't want it. Instead, I want it to be like empty when it's loading. So to do this, I will create a function called close that will just clear everything. So it will do this, but it will also set command to an empty object. So instead of calling this, let's call close. Yeah. Okay, just close. So now let's refresh back. Okay, but when I click close, do I want to fake the URL to be back at slash? Maybe. Yes, I want to be like this. So when I click, now clicking doesn't work. I can't open. I can open this. I can open this. I can't open post back. Ah, okay. Because I'm checking if the ID is changing. What else can change? Okay, so maybe we should tell from our switch if it should be open or not. What if we do props open? No, it will not change anything. Alright, so inside our routing switch, I will use this property open. So we have, no, we don't have state here. Use state from react, and everything that we have here related to visibility, I will take it from here. Yes. And let's go back to routing switch. And do we want we need to define it here. So let's define this here. But let's rename it. I will still use visible class here. So inside here I will do const visible class equals, and if props open, then it will be block, block, otherwise it will be hidden. Okay, and let's go back here. We will not have those. We will have post open, and set post open, and default will be empty, so null. All right, and then we want to use effect, and we want also to add it here, use effect. So when something changes, we want to do set post open. Okay, and here we want to know if there is comment ID. Maybe let's put it inside a state as well. Const comment ID. I don't know why this one is called post, this one is comment, so don't ask me. Set comment ID like this. Okay, here we have some issues. We need to have it both as a here, or maybe we do not. Let's do like this. Set comment ID. Okay. And open true will be changed to post open. And here we'll add on click out. And on click out we'll do set post open to false. I will make it a little bit prettier like this. And we have some issues here. So we will not have set a visible class anymore. And on click out we want to call, okay, let's call close, but let's also call props on click out like this. Now what do we have problem with? Let's see, there is some visible class is not defined. Visible class, it is defined. Let's try to refresh. Too many re-renders. Okay, there is some small issue. Let's see, I will remove this location console logging and this. Maybe I need to put this stuff inside. No, I can't. Okay, what if I comment out this part? Too many renders. Okay, there are some serious issues here. If I comment out this, then it should work, right? Too many renders. Where? So it's somewhere here. Okay, now I see. So we are updating comment ID on every render, and this is the problem. So to do this, I need to put back this local variable that I had here, So let's call it let, and I want to use comment ID. Okay, what if I do like this? Comment ID equals this, and null here. Okay, then it works. But I want to know if the comment ID changes. Okay, now let's try. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, when I'm clicking, I want to open it. Post open default will be false. Okay, I will go to home page and let's click out. Can't click back because comment ID didn't change. I think I want also to monitor post open. Okay. Right, so if comment ID or post open changes, then if it's open, post open, then I want, if it's not post open. No, let's do like this. If the comment ID changes, then I want just to open new one. But if post open changes, I want the comment ID to be null. Okay, now it works, finally. Okay, so now I can open one and scroll here. Yeah, that's cool. And here, yeah, that looks nice. And this one, yeah, and this one is big. Yeah, so it works. Let's see. So now we can open posts, and they are loaded from the database. So that will be all for today. In the next stream, I will fix this form for posting new posts or comments, as they have it here with markdown stuff and labels, tags. So that's the goal for the next stream. For now, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and click like button if you want me to continue with this project, and have a nice day.